Okay, guys, we need to talk about the up-and-coming cards, the cards we have to the end of the year before the Paramount deal. Okay, I'm confused. I'm a bit irritated. I already said confused. I think. I don't know if the lighting is weird. Is stuff fly? Anyway, you will probably see me in a small screen. Anyway, uh, the up-and-coming card this weekend or tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, I think. RDR Allen is fine. We don't need to focus on that. They got some good fights. Don't need to be overstacked. But if we go to UFC 321, let's start there and work ourselves to the end of the year, to December. So, if we look at the card, the prelims, pretty weak, but it finished off okay with Ikram and the the Iron Turtle. Like, why would you have a turtle as a nickname? Anyway, I like Klein Rebecki. Not the strongest main event of prelims, but I like it. I think it's a great, strong, really strong start to the pay per view with Rakic, Murzakanov, and then Volkov Almeida. Great start with those two fights. Then as a third fight, am I spitting? I just brushed my teeth. The third fight, Umar and Batista. I mean, dips down a bit. Not that it's a bad fight at all, but usually here, I think for pay-per-views, I mean, it's not that hard. Not that you got a lot of superstars or anything, not at all. But you still, and we're gonna talk more about the bigger names, people that barely fight. I'm also gonna drop in a few days, I think. Next week. More about how, the inactive fighters and all about that. But usually here, just under like the two title fights, it would be great to see. For many years now we have seen, it could be a lightweight matchup, with the bigger names like Gaethje, Chandler, Oliveira, Max, Dustin, of course. Before he retired, Tony was in there a bit. Or you could see like bigger welterweight names like Usman, Colby. I know, of course, Colby isn't the most relevant fighter right now at all. But if you look at the last few years, it could be a big fight with Usman, Chimaev, Colby, Masvidal, Diaz. I know all of those fighters aren't here still, but if you get the picture. Or even middleweight. That's what I'm. That's actually a good example. I was about to say Adesanya Strickland. A card like this, as I said, starts good, but then you get to the feature fight. I've said for a while the third, the middle fight of the main card on, especially pay-per-views. Do people say feature fight? Feature fight, co-main, main event, or is that only me? No. Yeah, feature fight. Umar Batista. Listen, no one cares about the strawweight fight between Yandy Roba and Dern. But it's still, usually we get the weaker, the smaller title fight that, for like since Demetrius Johnson was flyweight champ, if he was on the pay per view, it was pretty easy for them to put him as the co-main, or the bantamweights as the co-main, or featherweight as co-main. That has been like the women's title fights, men's flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight. Those are like the fights that you usually love to put as a co-main, and then you get lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight, usually in the main event. Of course, the last few years, like the last 2-3 years, it really has dipped in quality. But so I'm not upset with that. Like, of course, I mean, they, was it last year when? Yeah, no. When did I think when did Shevchenko and the trilogy, Shevchenko and Grasso? That was the 2023, then late in 2023, right? And then, yeah, it was like, was it the, yeah, O'Malley Merab, yeah, Notche last year, yeah. Yeah, but maybe it was in, I'm so going all over the place now. In 2023, right? On Notche or whatever it was. That was a fight night, I believe. Main evented by, dude, I can check it. Grasso versus Shevchenko. Jesus, man. Exactly. Thank you. September 17th or September 16th, whatever. UFC Fight Night Grasso Shevchenko 2, yeah. So that was a fight night, you know, a few years ago in China. They did Wei Li Andrade main event of a fight night, so they could definitely do that, but oh yeah. Anyway, so for once, I'm not sitting on the women's fight. They have a. I've talked about them enough. We'll get back to it when it's relevant. I know the main event. How did I? The main event. Gone Aspinall, sure, no problem. But I think if we're being honest, like if you think this main card is great, then UFC has been very good with dropping your standard. And that's the thing, we have gotten so many horrible pay-per-views, especially this year and last year. So when we get, like here, a main card of, like, every fight is ranked fights. There's no unranked guys opening up the main card, someone that has 2 fights in the UFC, he's on the main card of a pay-per-view. This has happened before, more than we should. Yeah, don't make me rant about that. But so, just now people will look at this and say, oh, great card, great main card, just because everyone's ranked. And it's a good start. Umar Batista isn't bad. But here, and we will get to much worse. I will move on to this from this card in a few seconds here, but this is a perfect example of where, just in the middle here, after feature fight, first fight up, Gaethje Paddy, for example, perfect here, or a Adesanya Strickland 2. I know Strickland is suspended, but they could have fucking done Adesanya versus some other, you know, Adesanya, the Ridder. Or the thing that also gets me annoyed, like, I'm not complaining specifically about having great fight night main events. We should have good fight night main events. But why? I know Oliveira wants to fight in Brazil, so maybe this isn't the best example. But still, earlier this year we had Whittaker main event the fight night. We had Usman main event a fight night. Same with Adesanya in February against Imavov. Have these guys on the pay-per-views. Make the pay-per-views feel like pay-per-views. Like, why are we putting Oliveira on a fight night and then 2 weeks later the Umar, like, all these fights, you know, Volkov Almeida, Umar Batista, I could see all, even Rakic, Murzakanov, I could see all those as main events, especially Rakic especially Rakic Murzakanov as a Apex fight night main event. We should have some oomph. And as I said, great start. And if you just got something like that, a Gaethje Paddy, a Usman, where is he? A Adesanya, something like that, as the feature fight, then everything below gets pushed down a bit. So the main card will be, for example, if we start with the main event of the prelims, then would be, instead of Klein Rebecca, which is okay, but it would be Rakic Murzakanov. That main event's the prelims. Then we start off Volkov Almeida, Umar Batista, Gaethje Paddy, Werner Robaderna, Aspinall gone. Like, it's not that hard. That's kind of my point. Moving on, is this 25th of okay, so a week later, yeah. 1st of November, Apex card. I'm not gonna spend much time. Look at this. I thought Garcia Onama was like a placeholder, you know. Like, it happens all the time that they some fights drop. The UFC like, when if you go to UFC's, I don't know exactly how it. If you just search out like UFC on Google, it comes up, as a list, and you can see the cards. And so if you have some smaller unranked fights, or if some random fight is announced, they start to put the fight just, these 2 fights are announced for this card. And just because one fight is, like this is the first fight announced, whatever, then sometimes it gets like put as the main event, but it's just because there's no other fights announced. But then of course, the closer we get, more fights get added, and that fight get pushed down, and we get the real main event. And yeah, most of you probably get kind of what I mean, maybe. But apparently not here. This is not far away. This is 2 weeks. Steve Garcia versus David Onama is the main event. I know it's the Apex, and I know the quality is just going down. I know. But Garcia Onama is currently the co-main, and yeah, I'm using Wikipedia, I know, but Wikipedia, I'm using it because it's much. They show the fights already here. The fights are already here compared to UFC's website. This is much better. Like, if UFC updated quick and like was a professional, good company, then I wouldn't use Wikipedia. Fuck off. The co-main event is Jeremiah Wells versus Temba Gorimbo. Acosta de Lia is good. Philip Rowe. Norma Dumont. Wagfest. That's it! Charles Radke, yay. Faggot. Not that Radke is a faggot, obviously that he called the Australians faggot. Yeah, 2 years ago we missed it. But yeah, let's not spend more time on this card. It's dog shit. And remember this card that's so below what we should get, like so below quality standard that's acceptable. Dog shit. Steve Garcia Onama shouldn't be. I would be fine with Garcia Onama being the feature fight of a fight night. Dude, my stomach is. I don't know if you guys hear my stomach. Is. Remember this card, and we're not done with the dog shit fight nights. Bonfim Randy Brown. Could be a co-main, I guess. Adrian Yanez, all his hype is gone. Ricky Simone, Muslim Salikov, yeah, that doesn't save it. So if we move on, a week later, and here I will kind of repeat myself, I think, but still. Okay. Let's get comfy here with the smacking and yapping. Jesus. Anyway. Jesus, I'm dying. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, great main event. Shevchenko Weili, I'm actually excited about that. The women's fights once. We got Brady Morales, Nicole Vieira, shouldn't be on main card. Edwards Prates, Dariush BSD. Like, we got lots of great stuff. But a thing I hate with the UFC nowadays is that they, instead of putting on a pay-per-view, for example, instead of putting a big lightweight fight, a big, if it's a big fight with Usman or Adesanya, Gaethje, Oliveira, Max, something like that. Instead, they just do like smaller fights, but they put like 2-3 extra. So we get like more fights than we should have on a pay-per-view like this, and it would be better to take a fight from here, for example, and put as a main event from one of the dog shit fight nights we just saw. Because maybe unpopular opinion, I don't know, we don't need let's say it like this. I think a main event of a fight night, even in the Apex, I think a main event of a fight night is more important than the prelims of a pay-per-view. I never think the prelims have never been my priority. I think you should have great main cards. Pay-per-view main cards should feel special. And yeah, anyway, so looking here, this is what I mean. Why wouldn't you put a as I said, Adesanya here, or an Oliveira, or a, yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to the overstacked fight night in Qatar. But the big, like one of the names that's just sitting around and not fighting. If we got that, let's say we got Adesanya here in the feature fight, and then we had oh, sorry. And then we had even I don't know, but okay, let's say the other two fights on the main card, Brady Morales and Nickel Vieira. I mean, I think people would love that, right? Okay, so we have Bo Nickel, Brady Morales, Adesanya, Shevchenko Weili, JDM Islam. Fantastic main card. Maybe not the best with Bo, but you know what I mean. In that case, you could literally take Edwards Prates and Dariush BSD to great main events of the two fight nights. Like, for me, why do we need to okay, so I guess the main card currently, whatever order they will put it, is the two title fights: Brady Morales, Bo Vieira, and Edwards Prates. Like, I'm not saying that I hate Dariush BSD being in the prelims. I just said that Rakic could be the main event of the prelims. So great main event of the prelims, if that's the case. Dariush BSD, absolutely. But still, like, I don't think this card is finished even. It's just like, isn't it 11 fights or something? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I mean, 12 is, I mean, they're probably gonna add at least one or two more fights, right? But even like, you have Kaidakus GM3, a meme fight. But you even have couple of Gregory Rodriguez. And dude, I'm not even saying you have to take both two fights off this card. If you just took one, yeah, and no, actually, you take two of this card, put as the two main events for the trash fight nights. Because look at the Qatar card. This is, guys, I'm warning you, this is not a pay-per-view. This is a fight night in about a month. This is a fucking fight night. So on the card, if I start here, so we got Nickel. What, my rib is fucked. What happened? Okay. I don't know what's happening with my rib. Okay, I'm trying to talk. We got Nicholas Dalby, Paulo Costa, Tagir versus redebuting Horiguchi, Spivak Gassiev, Perez Almabayev, Hermansson welterweight debut versus Orblai, Felipe Lima is back, Ostermir, Menifield, Belal, Gary, Arman Hooker. On a fight, guys, Costa, Horiguchi, Spivak, Hermansson, Ostermir, Belal, Gary, Hooker, Arman. Like, this is just, I know they're overstacking, and fuck the Middle East, fuck the UFC for such favoritism, oil money, I hate it. Why not spread it out? Why just, like, I don't need all this hit on a, like, what will the, honestly, if I'm just gonna do, quick, if we had on this fight night Arman and Hooker as the main event, Costa in the co-main, honestly, if you had Even that, I'm gonna make it even less. Arman Hooker, Costa in the co-main. And then you had fights like Felipe Lima, Horiguchi's re-debut, Dalby. Wouldn't that be a great fight night if we had Nicholas Dalby, we had Horiguchi's re-debut, yeah, Felipe Lima, and then you had Costa, Hooker and Arman in the main event. You could literally take off Belal Gary, take them off. You could take off Ozdemir Menifield. You could take off Hermansson Orblai, Spivak. Like, you could leave like Spivak on if you want, but do you guys get what I like? We had those 2 fight night cards with I don't even like. It's the most embarrassing feat. Like UFC are just embarrassing themselves, but they make money somehow, so it's good, I guess. But yeah. I think you guys get what I mean. Like, look at this card and compare. I know it's not in the Apex, but man, don't shit on the Apex. Come on. We could actually end on this card. UFC 323. Also, I don't know why why people are calling this card stacked. That just shows how damn lowered the standards have been. UFC never except when it's O'Malley in a bantamweight title fight, except when that's the case. UFC never chooses to put flyweight or bantamweight as a main event of a pay-per-view. Never, never, ever. They only put them when they have basically nothing else. That's just what it is. Like last year, Pantoja Asakura wasn't the main event, right? It wasn't it Belal Shavkat before the pullout of Belal, for example. Last year, they stacked 300 like crazy. So the next pay-per-view 301, right, in Brazil. Such a weak main event, Pantoja Ersteg, especially at the time. Like, no one know if you weren't a hardcore fan, like Ersteg, like he came out of nowhere, had like 2 UFC fights. I don't know, wasn't highly ranked. And here, first of all, they could have easily put Chimaev here. He took no damage except the 5th round. Iliad Poria should have been here. Volk, where the fuck is Volk? They don't get me started on that. Volk could have main evented. Chimaev, Ilya, even okay, maybe not light heavyweight. Okay, JDM is fine. So who the fuck is the Ilya? I was about to say who is the lightweight champ. Yeah. So the thing is, Ilya didn't want to fight. So they're probably saving people for the paramount stuff, and that's why we're not getting currently. We're not getting Paddy, Gaethje, Usman, Adesanya, Whittaker, Ilya, Chimaev, Volk. Like, it's fucking insane, all the people that we're not getting. But so if you look here, Ilya also said he didn't wanna. I think it was Ilya, right? Or was it his brother? Anyway, Ilya's brother is having a fight soon. On this card, no, maybe not. On some card. So that apparently means that Ilya can't be in training camp, which is the dumbest thing I've heard. Dude, fight how many people, like brothers, sisters, relatives, or just people in the same training camp, fight on the same card and train together, weight cut together. It makes no sense anyway. So apparently, because Ilya's brother is fighting, he can't fight. That's basically what he said. And he just broke up with his girl, apparently, people are saying. So maybe he's crying, I don't know. Chimaev, of course, will be back in a year. Pussy bitch, inbred. Who is the other guy I mentioned? Volk. I have no. Volk has been ready since September. He was supposed to fight Yair, right? The Notch card was supposed to be a pay-per-view, but then something happened in Mexico. Shithole. So of course that's why we didn't have a pay-per-view in September, and that became the Notch card with Lopez and Gene Silva. So none of them are available, apparently, or they're doing something weird with Volk. So that's why they put we only have Merab Jan, which no one cares about. People just expect the same thing again. So Pantoja Van also, like I think it's I shouldn't say it's weak as fuck, but it also shows the decline of the UFC that they use Blachowicz and Cejudo as the big names. That's yeah, man. Dude, okay, anyway. Like, we got Vettori on here. Feresian versus Nassim Sadiko. Macy Barber. Brandon Moreno with his Lego. No one cares about Guskov. Like, on this card, as I said, Ilya or Shimaev should have main evented here. They should have had a Oliveira, Gaethje, someone. Like, I just don't think it's hard, man. The fight, we already know the fighters are overpaid. I just wanted to rant a bit and just talk about this because I don't know if you guys agree with me. Tell me down below, do you agree? I just wanted to talk about this a bit because I just think that, and don't get me started on the order. The orders of the cars are always so weird. But yeah, like the placements, like you have a overstacked fight night that feels like 3 normal fight nights put into one. While you have 2 dog shit cards that shouldn't even be called cards, it looks like normal prelims. Instead of having one of the bigger names on a pay-per-view, they're just putting extra fights on there, which makes other fights weaker. And I just hate the structure. Like, spread it out some more. Have more consistency of good cards that makes people wanna come in and watch. And I just don't get the business strategy. But anyway, guys, tell me down below what you think. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I got much more. Much more. Thank you for watching, guys. We got My Brain is Cooked. We got latest video right here. Playlist right here. Peace.